the shadows of the old library halls, where the dust is thick and the silence calls. Books tell stories of the things unseen, of foxes wild and spirits keen. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Bibles open to verses dark, stories written to leave their mark. The wildlife outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The last of beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Your life outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past a beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paranormal tales in every spine, haunting truths that cross the line. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep. Paranormal truths no one believes, they linger here like autumn's leaves. Spirits waltz through moonlit air, books fall down as if to dare. Foxes howl in the wooded shade, they guard the truths that time forbade.
All right. Welcome to the library, everyone. Thank you, as always, Sweet Tea, for that wonderful intro. I just love listening to that thing. And I'll tell you, during the week, sometimes it just pops into my head and I start singing it. So it's a powerful tool. I'll tell you, it really is. Let me get my camera on here and say good evening to everyone. Great to see you on behalf of Lenny, Edgar, and Victor. How do you like the new camera? The new camera is in effect, so we have a little bit of, we're farther up close, which I like, a little bit better than the laptop camera. So I hope you like it too. And I have some fun stories tonight. I have 8 small short stories. Tonight we're going to talk about Newport, Rhode Island, which is, I never knew this, but it really is a ghost haven. I mean, the amount of locations is staggering how many are in there. It's kind of like Cape May, New Jersey. I never knew this. So I want to thank Zelda for suggesting that I go deeper into this particular location. She did that last week, and I said, sure, why not? Let's do it. But before I do that, let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Thindu is here. Delilah, how are you? Marta Fowler. I don't know how you weren't a moderator, but you are now. I fixed that problem. Stony Tony is here. Mustang Mike, I said that already. What am I doing? I'm repeating myself. Angelique, how are you? Hey, Teacher, good to see you. Sweet Tea is here. Arlene is here. Delilah is here. Patty is here. Tammy is here. Zelda is here. Again, Zelda, thank you for that suggestion. It was great. Todd Father, how are you? We had our ice cream. Time to start the show. All right. Hello, Sosa Ribeiro. You're new. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining, hanging out. I appreciate that. Little football symbols there. You're ready for football season, I see. Marta, I said hello to you. Who else am I missing here? I don't want to miss anyone. Arlene, hello. And I think I hit everyone. All right, great. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Real quick. Thindu calling me all these names. Bella Lugosi, everything else. CG2. Oh, CG2 was here. She may not be around, she said, but we appreciate her just as much. And that goes for everybody. I appreciate anyone who just watches the show. You don't have to be here live. I like doing it live because it's more interactive and talking to you guys. That's the fun part. Hello, Tara's Fish Room. You're back. Great to see you. Thanks for coming back again. And before I get started, I just want to make an announcement for the future. October, I'm planning out October because October is a big month for me and this channel. And what I'm planning to do is I will be in Salem, Massachusetts, the first week of October. So I hope to do some stuff from there. At a minimum, I'm going to have footage. I don't know if I'm going to do lives, but I'm definitely going to be there. And I hope to get some exciting new stuff on location in Salem, Massachusetts, in the scariest month of the year, October. So it should be fun, and I'm going to bring that to you guys, hopefully, as much of it as I can while I'm there. So stay tuned for that in the future. I hope you'll enjoy that as well. So let's get started here. Let's light our candles and get into our stories. And of course, I have some paranormal videos at the end, which we will delve into and see what happens. If I can light this, that didn't work. I'll tell you, some of these matches are really not worth it. There we go. I mean, the whole match thing is pretty cool, but sometimes you're just better off with the lighter. You don't have to play around with this stuff. But 18 people in the chat is awesome. Thank you so much, guys. 18 people tuned in, I should say. That's great. Shut that light off. There we go. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you. Wait, what's going on here? That is way too bright, man, with the camera. I never anticipated that. Man, we got to get these out of the way here. That's way too bright. We don't want to be in total lit up. There we go. I had no idea that there would be this bright with the new camera. Sorry about that. Wow. Okay. All right. Anyway. Yes, Theme had a spider bite. I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully he takes care of it. I'm sure he's going to be... Maybe he'll turn into Spider-Man. Who knows? That would be pretty cool. Anyway. So. Newport, Rhode Island. And before I do that, by the way, before I do that, special thank you to everyone who has joined the channel as a member. It's great. I'm up to 15 members. I'm so honored that people have joined this. I really appreciate that. I'm honored that you're just here and watching, believe me. But it really honors me that 15 people have took the time to join the channel. I've already started putting up some type of membership-only content. So if that's something that interests you, please consider that. It helps me support. It helps support the channel. I'm halfway there to getting enough money. I think enough money from the ads and the memberships to get the paid version of StreamYard. I'm not there yet, but halfway there. So hopefully I can get that soon, and then we can improve the quality of things here. So anyway, enough of that. Thank you so much, everyone who has supported me so far. All right. Let's get into Newport, Rhode Island. Now, like I said, I have 8 individual stories. They're small, short stories. These are not in-depth, really. Maybe the last 2 stories. The last 2 stories are probably more in-depth and worth hanging around for. but most of these are small because it's kind of like if you think back to my Cape May episodes. I did two of them. There's so many houses there that have individual stories about ghosts. Some of them are very simplistic, but there's so many. And this is similar. Newport is similar to Cape May, New Jersey, in that there's so many locations on this shore town. Maybe it's something to do with shore towns, right? Shore towns and ghosts seems to be something that attracts them or retains them. But there's so many here that I picked 8 of them. I can always come back and do more if you want to hear more. So keep that in mind. But these are the ones that I picked up first, and we'll go from there. And the thing I've found interesting was that a lot of these were difficult to find. When you search the internet, I get a lot of, this place is haunted, that place is haunted, but there isn't much in terms of the backstory. There isn't much in terms of why they're haunted or specific accounts of what the hauntings are about. So it takes a little more deep digging to find this stuff out. And that's what kind of limits me as well. So, but this is what we have. Let's go with it and see how it goes. Hello, Jimena. Great to see you. Hi, Zelda. Oh, I said hello to Zelda before. I'm losing my mind here. Gina, how are you, Gina? Great to see you. All right. Let's start off with Colt State Park. Colt State Park is a park that is located in Newport, Rhode Island. It's right along the coast. Now, Newport is a coastal town. It's an old New England coastal town. We're talking 1600s here, Pilgrims, that type of era. That's what is the foundation of this area. And because of that, there's such a rich, deep history that it lends itself to awesome stories. So let's go with that and keep that in mind. Now, let me show you what Colt State Park looks like. Here we go. Wait, let's get this. Why is this up? Let's get that out of here. Let's get out of here. Why is it still here? Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty here. Let's go back to this again, if I can. Or did I lose it? There it is. So this is Colt State Park. It looks beautiful. A beautiful New England park. And what's the ghost story about it, though, right? What's the ghost story? What's unique about this park? Well, it was originally a farm, an old farm, a 1600s farm. And several things happened on this farm before it became a park. One thing was that there were a series of tragic events that happened, bad luck events to this farm. One particular thing was the barn burning down. A barn burnt down in the early 1700s. And in the course of that burning down, a stable hand that was working in there perished along with a bunch of horses. So there were deaths that occurred in that particular area where the barn was because of the fire. There were also, after it became a park, it became in the early 1900s and in the mid 1900s, it was a very popular location for vacations. So people would spend a lot of time here. And as a result, there were drownings that happened off the coast, right off of this park, right off of it, because there were no lifeguards at the time. So as a result of these things, you have hauntings that still linger on in this area. The first is the stable boy, the ghost of that stable boy, and horses that people will hear at night. They will hear the whinnying of horses that lost their lives in that stable fire, as well as the stable boy. People will encounter the stable boy wandering about, looking to tend to his horses. Always at night, always where in the location where the barn was. And there's a visitor center here as well, which the people that work there say that there's a lot of activity in the visitor center where doors will be closed and open and vice versa. Lights will be on and off without an explanation. So a lot of activity that occurs on this site due to the farm deaths that occurred. And there's also, let me get rid of this. There's also an account in the 1970s where these individuals were walking along that path that I showed you right there, one late autumn evening, and they encountered two young girls walking towards them, giggling and laughing. And they looked very peculiar because they were dressed as if they were wearing bathing suits or summer clothes, bathing suits with sundresses on top of them. And it was October, not the thing you see certainly in Rhode Island at that time of the year. And as a result of that, these two girls, as they approached the party that was coming the opposite way, as soon as they approached them and got within speaking distance, the two girls vanished into thin air. And it is believed that these are the spirits of two girls, two sisters, that lost their lives drowning off of the coast there, and that they are seen wandering around in the park at different times throughout the year. So two different very distant in time ghosts, one from the 1700s, the stable boy and the horses, and then two unfortunate girls that lost their lives due to drowning in the 1970s. So you have an intersection of centuries of ghosts hanging out in this location. So that's Colt Park, your haunted park. Why not, right? So that's the first one. All right, let's go on to the second one. The second one is a place called Castle Hill Inn. And a lot of these places that I'm going to talk about are bed and breakfasts or hotels. And I think probably because of that, it tends to be more haunted than private residence. So I'm staying away from private residence. These are all places where if you're interested, you can actually go and stay and see if you encounter anything. They're all bed and breakfasts or hotels. Lodging is always available. So let's talk about the Castle Hill Inn. Built in 1875, it has been originally built as a summer home for a very wealthy individual by the name of, here it is, this is what it looks like, by the name of Alex Agassiz, 1875, very wealthy individual who was a biologist, a very successful and popular biologist of the time who taught at Harvard and was independently wealthy. He built this home as a summer home for him and his family to spend time there. It's on Ocean Drive in Newport, Rhode Island. As you can see, it's quite a magnificent structure. It has its own little tower. It's it's a bed and breakfast. It is a hall where you can have weddings, et cetera, and it's right off the coast. As you can see in this picture, you can see the coast is right here. This is on the edge of the island, of the area of the shore. And like I said, it was built in 1875, and it is said to be, and actually during World War II, it was actually used as a headquarters for the U.S. Navy on the East Coast. So it was a naval base / headquarters during World War II. Now, what goes on here really depends on your take of what you believe, because there's different stories as to what people have encountered here. One of them stories is there were famous people that stayed here, by the way, during the early 20th century and mid 20th century. So after World War II, Grace Kelly used to come here often and vacation here. Also, an individual, I didn't know this person, but I looked him up. He's a famous playwright, Thornton Wilder, also stayed here as well. And people say that from time to time, they encounter the ghosts of Grace Kelly and this individual, Thornton Wilder. I don't know how they know Thornton Wilder unless they're into that. I don't know. Like if I saw him as a ghost, I wouldn't be able to identify him and say that's Thornton Wilder. I don't know him. But Grace Kelly, I would know. If there was a ghost of Grace Kelly, I certainly would know who she is. And they say they have been seen sitting around relaxing as if they're on vacation. And that's exactly what they used to come here for in the summer, to relax, stay at this place and get away for a while. There's also a female ghost that doesn't have a name, but is believed to be a relative of the founder or the builder, the owner, the original owner, Alex Agassiz, that this woman is either his wife or his daughter. And she wanders around all over the building. People see her all over the place. And that she's often seen very well dressed and looking around as if she is inquiring as to how people are doing, how they're enjoying their time here, acting very host-like, but she will vaporize at any given moment. So basically looking like a host that disappears. So quite a friendly ghost, looking to make sure people are comfortable. However, she doesn't hang around that long. And people have seen her for over 25 years. It's interesting that her sightings go back 25 years. Why they're not before that, I do not know, but that's when they started. And there's also word of Alex himself being on the premises, his spirit being on the premise, and that he is said to be a bit perturbed at times and will throw dishes in the kitchen. That seems to be where he gets annoyed. And maybe he's not happy with what's happening with the staff there, but he'll throw dishes and they will end up breaking. So the original owner is still hanging around, not too happy with the service that his modern day staff members are providing. Who knows? But that's what goes on at the Castle Hill Inn in Rhode Island. It looks like a beautiful place. Looks like it would be a lovely place to stay. And then you could find out if there's any spiritual activity at the same time. So Castle Hill Inn. All right. All right. Gina, any stories that take place on the cliff wall? It's a beautiful spot, but seems like the perfect place for one of these stories. I did not see anything, or I didn't find it. Doesn't mean there aren't any. I didn't find any stories specific to that, but it could very well be. Like I said, these stories are not readily out there. A lot of them are just word of mouth, and people don't put them on the internet. So you have to delve into different locations and look at the websites of these particular bed and breakfasts to see if they go into it and tell the stories. So, but I didn't see anything specifically about that. Oh, Purgatory Rock. I did see something about Purgatory Rock. I didn't include it today, but I definitely did see Purgatory Rock as a ghost story there. And it had to do with Native Americans. So I didn't get into that one too deeply. I could go back and look at it again in a second coming of Newport, which I'm sure we'll do. Like I said, there's plenty to do here. All right. Let's go on to the next location, which is Hotel Viking. The Hotel Viking. Now, here is what the Hotel Viking looks like. Now, this place is quite magnificent. It's quite huge in size. It was built in 1926. It has 5 floors, 208 rooms in it. So it's a monstrosity of a place. And it goes without saying that since it was built in the 1920s, which was a time where there was a lot of activity, partying activity, it was the party decade of the 20th century. Everyone was out to party, and the rich would love to come to Newport, Rhode Island to party in the summer. And it is said that they'd have many, many parties here, much like you'd see in The Great Gatsby, for example. You know, that's a perfect example of that time period and the decadence that went on. Well, it happened here. And as a result, it is said that there is not just a ghost here, but there are the spirits of a party that continues to happen over and over and over again. And that it tends to happen on the 3rd floor, I believe, or above where there's a ballroom now. So wherever there's a ballroom now in this, there's definitely a ballroom. The place is big enough. They hold events here. It tends the noise, the ruckus, the sounds of happiness and partying and music appear or heard above the ballroom. And it's stopped for quite a while, they said. Like this phenomenon has gone on from the 20s, through 2007. Then it stopped until 2010. So nobody knows why. And then 2010, it started up again. So it's an interesting chain of events there that this ghostly activity took a break for 3 years. Nobody knows why. So some of the other things that happen in the Viking Hotel at any place at any time: lights go on and off, doors close and open by themselves. Footsteps can be heard where there's no one there. Cold spots, you'll feel cold spots for no reason whatsoever. Flickering lights, and even moving objects. People have seen objects moving about. So quite an activity throughout the entire place. So there have to be quite a number of party-going spirits, I guess, that still are here hanging out. There's also the ghost of a boy, believe it or not, who is often seen cleaning floors in the old wing of the building. And the staff are so appreciative of this. In fact, he's not just a spirit cleaning. It's not just as if he is a spirit going through the motions. He actually does clean the floors. The floors will end up getting cleaned overnight, and no one did it. And the staff over the years has been so appreciative of this spirit that they leave treats for him. They leave candy and toys like balls for the spirit because he's a boy. And they are appreciative of all the work he does, keeping the floors clean in the old wing. It's less work for them to do, and they give back, I guess. And he will take those treats. Those treats will disappear, and so will the ball. The ball will be used. The ball will be seen bouncing about as if he's having a grand old time playing with it. But it's an interesting little story of how this little spirit has made a connection with the staff here by helping them out, keep the place clean. So quite a positive spirit that you'd want to have in your own home, I guess, right? So that's the Hotel Viking, your ghostly partiers, as well as the boy cleaning guy. Quite interesting. All right, let's get rid of this. Oh, Taylor Swift hanging out? I don't know. I'm no clue. Taylor Swift. I don't know. Yeah, I'm surprised too. It's a very well-to-do place, I think now. Costs a decent amount of money to stay there. So I would be surprised if there aren't more famous people spending time there on the East Coast. Seems like it's a beautiful place and a place they'd want to stay. All right, let's go on to number 4. Number 4 is the Newport Lighthouse. And as you know, every lighthouse has got to be haunted. Every old lighthouse, let's put it that way, has got to be haunted. It's just the way it goes. So let's check it out. Let's see what this is all about. Victor, let's not get crazy here. But if Lenny is quiet, he's kind of perturbed at me because I told him I'm not taking him to Salem with me. So he's not too happy about that. All right, let's go and look at what we have in terms of the Newport Lighthouse. Here we go. Where are we? Here is the Newport Lighthouse. It's located on what they call Rose Island. It's set on 18 acres. This little island is 18 acres worth. It was built in 1869, so quite an old structure over the years. Served a very important purpose with shipping up until the 1970s, when after the building of a bridge with its own lights and everything else, it really became obsolete. So it's simply there now as a bed and breakfast. People can stay there, and it's a quaint and beautiful area to come and stay at this point. So now, what goes on here? Well, disembodied voices are heard quite often. That goes without saying. Disembodied voices crying, particularly a woman crying. That seems to be the predominant spirit that's encountered here, a crying woman. And some people even see her up on the top of that tower at night, staring out over the sea, wearing long white robes. She has long dark hair, and she seems to be staring longingly out to sea as if she's waiting and waiting, urgently waiting for the return of a loved one. And the story goes that this was the wife of a lighthouse keeper who, during a hurricane, took to his boat to go help save a ship that was stuck out on the rocks, and unfortunately met his doom along with those in the ship, never returned. And it's said that her spirit is still here, longing, looking for her husband to return from this rescue attempt that failed. So, not much in terms of interaction with people. Seems to be more so a residual haunting. I mean, people do hear her and see her, but not much in terms of interacting with people. So, probably just something that lingers on from many, many years ago. Not sure when this occurred, this event. It had to be in the early 1900s, I believe. This shipwreck that occurred during a hurricane. So, and that's it. This is on Narragansett Bay is really where this it was responsible for, this lighthouse, what it was responsible for overseeing and making sure boats didn't run aground. So, the Newport Lighthouse. We just have one simple ghost here, the lady in white, watching over the sea, looking for her husband to return. All right. Let's go on to the next, number 5. Hello, Bill C. How are you? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. All right. Number 5, the Jailhouse Inn. Now, the Jailhouse Inn is a very, very old building, built in 1772. And it was built to replace an existing building, jail. Both were jails originally, built in 1658. So this spot has been a jail for 400 years almost. 300 and change, 300 and change. So let's get a good picture of this if we can. Here we go. Now, this is the Jailhouse Inn. Like I said, it was originally a jail. And in the late 1800s, it was actually turned into a police station. And it remained that way until 1886 when they built a new one. And in 1986, in 1986, it was sold and it became a hotel, which went through many renovations over the years, which it currently is. It currently is a hotel. And, the renovation in 2005 was the biggest one. And this one, is really dealing with the residual aspects of jailed individuals, people that are miserable, people that are often evil because they're in jail to begin with, and a lot of negative energy. And then people that are in caged and cooped up are not happy. So there's a negative energy there as well. So a lot of that negative energy that exists in this hotel is still around. And people say they feel it when they stay there. They feel the negative energy. That there's a strong presence felt on the third floor. And this presence is believed to be an old jailer. And this old jailer is said to still patrol the rooms as if they were cells, with his pair of keys, looking to lock the doors at night. And many people have said that the doors to their rooms, if they forget to lock them, will be locked in the morning when they awake, as if the jailer came by and checked all the locks and locked them as he went along. So an interesting ghost that still is doing his duty in life, making sure that all the jail cells are locked, even though they're not jail cells anymore. They say that there's unexplained cool spots and breezes that will occur even when the windows are closed. So a breeze will come out of nowhere and people will feel a chill from it. Inexplainable. Not just on the third floor where the jailer is, but all throughout the building. These cold spots will appear, and it's believed to be the result of manifestating spirits. So I don't know. That seems to be a common thing in ghosts, in the ghost world, is the creating of cold spots when they manifest stuff. Barbarino. Who's Barbarino? I see Patty says, "Hey Barbarino." Who's Barbarino? Hi Bobo, good to see you. I didn't see anybody named Barbarino come in here. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't see anybody. So we have the old jailer on the third floor. We also hear whispers. Now, this is an interesting thing. People say they hear whispering in their ear, random whispering in their ear at random times, and they can often make out the whispers. And the whispers seem to be inmates plotting to break out of the jail. So it's quite interesting to hear, we're going tonight, or I've made my plans. So it's quite interesting to encounter this. People that were jailed there looking to do a jailbreak. Now, I couldn't find any record of an actual jailbreak that occurred in here. So maybe it's just the frustrated talkings of jailed people, jailed men who want to think about breaking out, and their spirits are continuing to do so time after time. So quite interesting. So that's the Jailhouse Inn. You have the jailer himself, who is still hanging around, locking doors, making sure everyone's tidy. And then you have these random spirits of jailed individuals speaking in terms, whispering their plans of escape that never occurred. So pretty cool in the Jailhouse Inn at 13 Marlborough Street in Newport, Rhode Island. So there you have, that's number 5. All right, let's go on to number 6. Number 6. Number 6 is a place called the White Horse Tavern. Now, the White Horse Tavern is even older than any of the buildings I've spoken to at this point. was built in 1673. Think about that. 1673, before the witch trials. It's really Puritan time period here. It's really, really old. Now, let me get you a picture of this. And it really looks like what you would think a building from the 1600s would look like. It's basically a barn, a huge barn-shaped building, which has now been turned into a tavern. And actually, no, it wasn't turned into a tavern. It's always been a tavern. In fact, it's documented as the oldest operating tavern in America. So it's always operated. It's never changed its purpose. And for that reason, it's been a tavern since 1673. So quite a history there. Quite a number of interesting conversations must have happened in this tavern over the centuries. Now, it is said that this building was once owned by an individual by William May, who was a pirate, a crew member of the Captain Every, who was a famous pirate up the East Coast. And William May was a pirate on that ship. And eventually, from the loot in which he obtained, bought this tavern and function and ran it when he was done pirating, I guess. And it goes without saying that Newport, if you didn't know this, Newport has quite a history around pirates. For the longest time, it was a haven for pirates. And that's going to be our next story. Our next story is going to get a little bit more into the pirates. But this one is connected to White Horse Tavern because it was owned by a pirate, and it therefore was open to a lot of pirates coming in and staying there. And as they docked and moved on. So this is the early 1700s, before 1725. This is before 1725. As the age of piracy was really the 1600s. The golden age of piracy was the 1600s. And these pirates would prey on Spanish ships. They're all of English origin. They would prey on pirate ships. And some of them would even take far voyages to Africa, to the Mediterranean, to prey on Muslim ships and others. And of course, always looking for wealth and gold. And when they grew tired, they would come and dock in Newport and rest. So it was kind of like Port Royal, I guess. Port Royal of the Caribbean. This was kind of like Port Royal of the North, where the pirates would hang out and rest. Hi, Gen X Effect. Great to see you, buddy. Thank you for stopping in. Sweetie, we are the pirates of those who don't do anything. Hey, Slim, good to see you, buddy. Gerard Cicelli, good to see you. Great to see you guys. Slim's going on later, so don't forget. Turn into Slim, 10 o'clock. All right. So the White Horse Tavern, 1673. Now, what goes on in this tavern that makes it ghostly? Well, we have what is believed to be, let's get this off the screen, what is believed to be the spirit of an old colonial British soldier. He's often seen in his garb, his colonial British garb, and he will be seen most often in the dining room or hanging out by the fireplace. This place served as a courthouse for quite a while. It served as a meeting hall. It served, it kept its tavern status, but it also had dual purposes. So it was used as a meeting hall. It was used as a courthouse. During the Revolutionary War, British soldiers used it a lot too. They would come here and hang out a lot. And because Rhode Island at the time was controlled by the British. So we have this one spirit of this British soldier that hangs out here. Many people who enter the building claim to be tapped on the shoulder by a spirit that's unidentifiable. They don't see anybody, but they get tapped on the shoulder. There's also the presence of a seaman that they believe died and came back to hang out here, that he will be seen smoking his pipe every now and then. And then there's a female spirit, this is interesting, who is often seen hovering over the dining room tables. That would be quite disturbing to see that. A spirit hanger, uh, hovering over the dining room tables. I think you'd lose your appetite pretty quickly there. And there's a little girl, a spirit of a little girl who's often seen near the bathrooms and often seen crying or sad as if she's looking for a parent. I don't know, but consistently seen around the bathrooms. Don't know. So that's the White Horse Tavern, 26 Marlborough Street. Owned by a pirate. Had many pirates hanging out here. British soldier, who seems to be still hanging out. The spirit of this mystery woman who floats and hovers about in the dining area, and then this little girl crying at random near the bathroom areas. So that's your White Horse Tavern, the oldest tavern in the country, built in 1673. All right. All right, my last two stories. I'm glad you hung out for these because these are the most interesting. So the seventh story is about a place called Gravelly Point. Now, Gravelly Point is part of Newport. It's describes the geographic location. It's a point that goes out into the ocean. Now, I mentioned before how Newport, Rhode Island was a pirate haven. Well, that all changes in 1723 when the British decide we're going to put an end to this. We're done with this. We're not going to have a pirate haven here anymore. And this is where they run into a little bit of problems because remember, somebody's pirate is often somebody's privateer. Now, they're very different, right? The privateers, but they do the same thing. Privateers are commissioned by a particular government to do piracy on their behalf, whereas those privateers are viewed as pirates by the country that's being the victim of this piracy. So a lot of times the British encouraged piracy by issuing these charters of privateering in hopes that they would harass the Spanish and gain wealth from the Spanish. But the Spanish always saw them as pirates. So it's very rare that you would have actual pirates in the 1600s. They were usually privateers. But as that practice ends and Britain pulls back from these privateering, some of these people still like doing what they did. So they went out on their own, and these were actual pirates. And now, without the charter as a privateer, all bets were off. They'll go after anyone, not just the Spanish. They'll go after the English. So the British said, we're going to put a stop to this. We need the colonies to be civilized. So in June of 1723, the British Navy sends a ship by the name of the Greyhound, Her Majesty's ship Greyhound, fully armed with Marines, and fully armed battleship with Marines, and it comes to Newport, Rhode Island, and its goal is to clear out the pirates, and in fact, it does just that. It immediately engages in a battle with two pirate ships, one of which is captained by a famous pirate by the name of Edwin Lowe. And he has an accompanying ship. And at this time, pirates would build their own fleets. If they were a successful pirate, when they would gain or take over another ship, they would add it to their fleet. So some of these pirates had quite a fleet of ships. So these particular ships were the Ranger was one of them, and I'm forgetting what the other one was. The other one was All right, so Captain Edwin Lowe, he captains the Ranger, and then Charles Harris. No, I'm sorry, the opposite. Captain Lowe um, is is captaining whatever you want to call it, the main pirate ship. Charles Harris is captaining the Ranger, which is the secondary pirate ship. Now, these two ships get into a major battle with the Greyhound, and cannons are flying and cannonballs are flying, ships are being boarded. Eventually, the pirates lose. In fact, the Ranger gets captured. And this obviously gives the capturing of the Ranger gives Captain Edward Lowe the opportunity to escape. So he escapes, the main ship escapes. The Ranger, unfortunately, for their sake, is captured by the British Navy. Now, on the Ranger, you have the captain, Charles Harris, and then you have 25 crewmen with him who are signed on as pirates. Now, the sad thing about this whole thing, as you'll see, is that Charles Harris was the captain of this ship, which was a pirate ship, but he really had no choice in the matter. He was taken prisoner by Edward Lowe a decade ago in the Caribbean when he was on a legitimate ship and was forced to basically join the pirate crew. So he was a pirate not by choice. He got pressed into piracy. So he is doing just what he had no choice to do, I guess, at that time. I guess he could have escaped after a while, but I guess he enjoyed it, right? Who knows? So anyway, after this, so Captain Charles Harris, as well as 25 of his crew members, are captured, and they're brought back to Newport, Rhode Island. And there's a quick trial that's put together, and they're all tried and convicted of piracy and sentenced to death. This was Britain's way of cleaning this place out once and for all, saying that there weren't going to be any more pirates tolerated around here. Hello, Just Chillin'. Good to see you, buddy. So that battle took place on June 10th. By June 19th, the hangings are set to happen. So it didn't take long. 9 days. They were tried and sentenced to death. Now, when we talk about hangings in the 1723 time frame, they're not what you would think of in terms of your traditional Old West hangings where people get their necks cracked and they're dead. These were much more brutal. And in fact, what they would do is they would probably strangle to death. They didn't have their necks broken. And they would be encased in these, their bodies would be tied together and they would be encased in like an Iron Maiden, so to speak. And their bodies would be left there as an example after they died. So let me show you, for example, what one of these things looked like. Obviously, there's no pictures of this, but there's an artist's rendition of what this would look like and what it did look like, I would say, at the time. If I have it here, I thought I had it here. Here we go. This is what happened to these 26 individuals. They were tied, bound tightly and tied and strangled by hanging from the yardarms that they set up. So can you imagine 26 yardarms out there with men hanging and dying slowly, a brutal death? Sounds like the material for ghosts. And in fact, that's exactly what happens. So after these individuals meet their maker, their bodies are eventually taken down and they're taken and buried on a place called Goat Island, which is not far from Gravelly Point. Now, what is the ghostly activity? Well, it's probably what you think it was. 26 spirits of these pirates rise from the dead and make their way from Goat Island across the channel area there to Newport, back to Newport, where they were executed. And it is said that this will happen on very dark nights where there's no moon, But you will be able to see the embodiment of these pirates walking through the water, coming up from the depths, much like you would see on Pirates of the Caribbean, Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, much like that. In fact, this tale, I'm told, was an inspiration for that traditional Disney tale. That the pirate, the ghost part of this was a tale of that, was an inspiration of that. So these spirits of these brutally murdered, or not murdered, I guess they were executed. They were pirates. They broke the law and they deserved it. So they weren't murdered, but they were brutally executed. And these spirits are at unrest still, and they wander from Goat Island, where they're buried, back to the place where their hangings took place, and then will turn around and go back before the night is over. So quite a ghastly thing to see. I'd love to see it, though. I'd love to be there when one of these events happens. But that's Gravelly Point, and the ghosts of the 26 spirits, the 26 pirates that met their end in the name of ending piracy in the colonies. And it is said that these spirits at times are so real that people think that they're period actors. You know, that they look so three-dimensional, I guess. They look like real people until they vanish. But many people have said that they thought they were period actors until they vanished in front of their eyes. So the ghosts of Gravelly Point and Goat Island, 26 pirates that met their doom. All right. What do you think so far? You like them? I think these are pretty cool stories. All right, my last story, number 8, my number 8 story of the evening, is about Redwood Library. Now, let me show you what Redwood Library. This is so intriguing to me, this one. As you know, I love books, as you can see, and I love libraries. And this is one of the oldest libraries in the country. This library was built in 1747 and has remained a library the whole time till this very day. It's an operating library, which is fascinating to me. And this is what it looks like. It's beautiful classic architecture, Greek Roman architecture, and it's said to be the first building that was built in America in this style. Now, this is not a public library. This is a private lending library. It's a private institution that houses books and lends them out, believe it or not. All these years. It's funded by a foundation, a private foundation that was formed by its founder, Abram Redwood, who it's named after. And it said that Abram Redwood donated all the books that were part of this library. Now, there was a time where things got pretty hairy around this library, and that was during the Revolutionary War. So 1776 comes, 1777 comes. The British are here in force, and they take over this library, and they turn it into an officers' club, believe it or not. The British officers would hang out here and drink and smoke and eat. Okay. The bad part about this, though, is that they looted the library and they stole books as souvenirs. Some were sold. So the original library books that were provided here, remember, 1747, were lost. But there was a concerted effort after the war, after the Revolutionary War, to get this library back. And miraculously enough, they were able to obtain 90% of the books that were stolen or sold off when the British occupied the building. So I think that's fascinating how that could have happened. And those books are still there to this day. Those books are still part of the library to this day. But that's part of where the ghostly activity comes from. Now, the stealing and looting of these books did not bode well with the spirit of Abraham Redwood. In fact, it's because of this event, because of the stealing of these events, of these books, this library, that his ghost took it upon himself to become the guardian of the library itself. And it is said that old Abraham will watch over every one of these books in this library. Now, for example, if you were to go there and take out a book and not return it on time, it is said that bad things will begin to happen to you in your home. Unexplainable things, bad, negative things, bad luck will happen to you. And they say that it's the ghost of Abraham that's protecting these books. Having seen them stolen, he will do his best to protect the library for eternity. And that's what he's doing in eternity. He's protecting this area. There's a room that's a part of the library called the Harrison Room. And this Harrison Room is filled with paintings of people over the years who have been benefactors of the library and have helped it survive, helped it continue on its noble mission. And it is said that these paintings house the spirits of these individuals. In fact, the eyes of the picture of the faces of these paintings will move and follow you if you are in the Harrison Room. They will be glued on you and will move to you. It's even said that these pictures will move. For example, there will be a picture of an individual who is taking this side of their profile, and then the next day you will see this side of their profile. Now, these aren't pictures; these are paintings. So these paintings have a life of their own. They move around. It is said that the locations of the paintings will move at times, and no one will own up to moving them. And that the eyes will actually, people will actually see the eyes of these these individuals' paintings moving with them. So a lot of this is the inspiration of the Disney Haunted Mansion, where the pictures come alive and the pictures, either the eyes move or the faces move. A lot of it is said it came from this experience of people that they have had at the Redwood Library. So it's quite a cool place to be. I definitely would love to go here and visit it. I don't know if it's open to the public or you have to be a member. I don't know, because it's a private library. So I have to look into that and see. But I'd love to go there and check this out, because that's fascinating to me. The fact that you have a ghost that's protecting those books, that's pretty cool. We're not worried about paying library fines. You better bring it back. Otherwise, you're going to get bad luck. Bad things are going to happen to you. Car accidents, fires, bad things happen. So get those library books back. Don't do it. So that's it. That's the story of the Redwood Library, the oldest private library in the country. It's probably older than any public library also, but it's the oldest private library in the country, lending library. And it's miraculous to me. Even more miraculous than the ghost stories is the fact they were able to obtain 90% of that original library after it was stolen by the British and sold off. So quite an interesting location and quite a cool story. It's located at 50 Bell Avenue, and it's definitely someplace you want to go if you're there. Definitely want to check it out. Definitely a cool place, Redwood Library. So that's your 8th and final story of the evening. Hello, Emmanuel. How are you? How are we doing? So what did you think, guys? Did you like the stories? I hope you did. I thought they were cool. I thought they were interesting. I hope you enjoyed them as well. Before we move into our paranormal stuff, let's see what we got here. I have, I think, 3 videos and a picture to show you. Thank you, Patty. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's delve into this. Let's delve into some paranormal stuff. And you tell me what you think. All right. Let's start off with this. Now, this picture was taken in a cemetery in Newport, Rhode Island. So it's very apropos. But you tell me what you think here. Let's see here. Let's do this. All right. What do you think of this? Now, this is a black and white photo. It was taken a long time ago. And you can see this circle that's been outlined here. That's wasn't part of the circle's not part of the picture. But look what's in the circle. What does that look like to you? And it's not a statue. So don't think it is. It's not a statue. There are no statues here. There's just tombstones. So what do you think? This picture is pretty creepy to me. To me, that looks like a 1600s type of Puritan minister would look. You know, the garb that they would wear, say, when they're going to church. Right. Figure in a cloak, Tara. Exactly. Exactly. Tara, we need to make you a moderator here so I know it's really you. Let me see what I can do here. If I can do that right while we're doing this. Can I do that? Okay, let's make you a moderator. There we go. That's taken care of. All right. All right. Now you're in blue. All right. What do you think? Like a bride. Delilah says it looks like a bride. Interesting. Okay. Kelly, what do you think? I see I don't know if you know, I said hello to you, Kelly. You came in when I wasn't looking. I was deep into my stories. But tell me, guys, what do you think here? Definitely looks like a 1600s. So it's really, yeah, right. Zelda, it looks like it has that feel of like the 1600s, like the Puritans, the Pilgrims, that type of thing. This is not a digital photo. It's an analog photo, traditional camera development, etc. Taken with black and white film, I should say. No, the bubble is just the bubble, Boba. The bubble. I know you're joking, but just so you know, the bubble's put in there. The bubble is not there. If anyone else thinks it is, it's not. It's just put in there so you could see the area in question. So anyway, I think this was kind of cool. I can't even begin to debunk it. I can't think of any. I can't think of anything that this would be. It would either have to be doctored, but it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a reflection. It's not a statue. So either it's a ghost or it's a hoax. So who knows? All right. I'm going to put this one as legit. I'll just go with that for now. I'll go with it as legit. All right. Now, let's wait a minute. Where am I? All right, let's look at a video. All right, here we come. Let's see what we got here. All right. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Todd Father, I didn't notice you were there.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
What's up? Doing
I didn't know
well.
if you were there long. I'm sorry. I didn't notice you.
I was here for about 19 minutes.
Get the hell out of here. All right. Let's share this. Let's see what we think here. All right, now this is taken outside of someone's yard. You know, there are surveillance cameras outside in their yard. And watch what happens here. Now, there's a couple of things about this. Now, this is
lots of stuff moving.
right. Like there's this thing over here, right? This, and then it appears over here. Now, look over here. Like, look into the left. There's like a black thing that comes running past.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that's an animal. It's probably an animal, you know,
It's like a cat
or something. But this is what the thing looks like up close. It looks like a hooded, somebody in a hood. To me, looks like someone wearing a hood. And then this, I don't know. I mean, this could be, it's to be the same hooded person, but it's so blurred. It's just strange. I don't know.
It could have been a.
I think it's probably like a staging, right? Like it's somebody like.
It's definitely like a tree cam, you know, or something like that. But like, I think it's like somebody either, yeah, like you said, staging it, or someone's friend is messing with them.
Yeah, like being like a, you know, pranking them or doing something here. Because it doesn't, to me, it doesn't look like a ghost. It looks like somebody that's like.
Well, it's a person for sure.
Somebody creeping around.
Yeah, no doubt. That's not fake.
Hi, Donna. Good to see you, buddy. Honey. I'm gonna sound like Pat. I'm gonna sound like Ralphie here. Honey, calling people honey.
Hun,
buddy, whatever. But thank you for joining. All right, so let's get rid of this. I think this is just some guy, either they're getting pranked or
making his own footage.
Yeah, they did this on purpose.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those. All right. All right, let's see what we got here now. All righty, let's see here. Now this, I'm going to pause it here. This,
what is that?
I don't know what it is, quite frankly.
It took me a second. I'm not going to lie.
But this is a road sign. It's like a big road sign. It's obviously in a different country.
Right.
But it looks like a guy, like a cowboy, like a you know, like a a cowboy sitting on the sign.
There's some sort of statue just sitting on it, right?
Or statue, right. And the story goes that someone was driving along and caught this on their dash cam, and they don't know what it is. So it's a pretty big sign. Like, how would you even get up there? If that's a person, how would you even get up there?
I think the construction workers were
Thindu put them up there, right?
Yeah. It's Thindu up there.
Hey, Hollywood. Good to see you, buddy.
Everyone's saying fake.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think that if you look at it from this angle, this looks like it's superimposed.
Yeah.
Right here, right? This looks like somebody put this in there. So, you know,
We know it's not an actual human because he wouldn't be able to sit up like that. There's no way.
Right. And then you have the different color here, right? Like this is darker. This part is darker.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I think this is just a bad Photoshop type of thing. But I just thought it was fun. It struck me as funny when I looked at it.
No, it's good. It's good stuff. But let me ask you this, right? Say you're driving down. Oh my Lord, these dogs. So say you're driving down the freeway and you happen to just see that. Yeah. Would you stop and back up, or would you just keep going?
I would probably stop, because that's so jarring to see something like that. I was like, what is that? I got to go see what that is.
I'd have to stop.
What is that? What the hell is that?
I don't know if I'd get out because then I'd
No,
have to
no,
use
no.
my
I don't
car as
think
a
I would get out
weapon.
of the car. No
So
way. No, I wouldn't get out of the car. But I would definitely, turn around and go. Let me get another look at that. What the heck is? What the heck is that?
I think that'd be great.
Yes, it is Cooper, Delilah. Cooper
No,
barking
Zach,
away.
that was Sunny actually.
It wasn't Cooper. All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's get rid of that. What else do I have here? All right. I think this is my last one. I didn't have many this week. All right. Let's see here.
No, Gina, my son was making racket upstairs, so he just he knows it's my son upstairs, but he still has to bark.
He doesn't like the noise. It's disturbing.
It's
All right. Now, this is taken in the Middle East somewhere, in a warehouse in the Middle East. Now, watch this woman. There's a woman standing in the middle here, and watch what happens to her.
like she got tackled or something.
But there's nobody there. Watch. There's nobody there. It's as if she's either pushed or pulled.
Yeah. That doesn't look like a real fake fall either.
No, 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 it doesn't. There's no shoulder roll
Like
going on there.
there's like no acting in that, man. That's like a blunt push.
And this woman here is like surprised, like, what the heck just happened? She's like, oh my God, what happened?
Play it again.
All right, hold on. Let's
Looks like she was getting a wedgie.
yeah, you know what? There's something to that. It did kind of look like that.
Oh, he blew a giant fart and didn't know if she had it in her.
It's pretty powerful, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Now she's not standing on like a grate or nothing, or
No. She puts her like thing back, like she puts, and then it's almost as if she
it
gets
like
pulled up,
like
right?
she gets lifted up
Yeah.
and thrown.
Yeah.
Doesn't come off her feet quite,
Yeah,
but you could see her body lifts
yeah,
like she got thrown.
yeah.
Did something else fall there too, or was that already on the ground?
This here, like that
Uh,
stuff.
the
to the
person
left?
that's got the black pants on and
It looks like. Hold on, let's go back. Let's do it backwards and see. I think she drops that.
oh,
And
okay, yeah, all right.
yeah. She's like, whoa, what happened?
She's like, I'm out of here. Almost
But
like she
whoa.
got. It almost looks like. And I mean, I don't mean to be dark here, but like she got shot with something
Yeah, right.
in the back. You know what I mean?
So I don't know. Delilah says this happens to her all the time.
Oh, that's Delilah. You better wear a helmet then.
I don't. This
Some shoulder pads,
my
elbow
Lord.
pads.
So I don't know. It's just it's kind of bizarre, if you ask me. Kind of bizarre.
Well, that's a good one. It's a good conversation piece. But yeah, definitely got hit with something in the back or something.
I think that's all I had. Did you see the first one, the picture of the?
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that.
Let me see something here. Oh, I do have one more. Hold on. This is one more. Now, this is taken on the USS Reagan, the aircraft carrier. Hold on. Now, tell me what you make of this. This is a surveillance camera on the USS Reagan. Now watch what happens. Look who comes across.
Well, that's not weird or nothing.
It's like it comes aboard, right? It looks like it's
Yeah.
come aboard,
Yeah.
and then
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it leaves a trail, right? It leaves a trail, right, as it goes by.
Or is it being played in reverse, where something shot through the gate and was trying to get off of it? You know what I mean?
Let's try it in reverse. Let's see.
Well, now it just did. Yeah.
Like, okay, so it's leaving a trail here like this, right? You see the trail, like woo, right there.
What was that noise?
It was me. Woo.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you say it was in reverse, right? If it was in reverse, the trail would be the opposite way, though. No, the trail would be to the right,
Okay, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
right? So it can't be in reverse. But what the heck is it? Like it's you could see it on the outside of the railing, right? There's something on the
Is
outside
it
of the
supposed to be on the water?
Yes, like this is the railing, so the water's to the left.
Right. But
Yeah. So I I don't know. I don't know what this is. It doesn't look like a ghost. I don't know what the heck it is.
yeah, but nothing has legs in the water.
Yeah. Right.
That's crazy. Whatever it is.
So I don't know. I don't know what that
You
is.
guys, these are some good ones tonight. These are some head scratchers.
So
Yeah, like
is it Z? Delilah says, is it Z? What does that mean? Is it Z? Zelda? I have no idea. I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't have an answer for this one. I don't know what it is. I don't know. So
is it a rodeo? What?
no, this is the no, Delilah. This is
Are you cracking up?
This is an aircraft carrier, the USS Reagan. It's an aircraft carrier. This is a surveillance video on the aircraft carrier. That's the railing. To the left of the railing is the ocean, is the water. This is the deck of the aircraft carrier.
Oh wow.
Sandy, welcome, Sandy. Sandy,
it's crazy.
3. Death is an illusion. I've been to the other side 2 times. Ooh, wow. Well, we're glad you're back.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's this phenomenon. Don't know what it is, but it's interesting.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about the something sitting on that sign. I'm just still sitting thinking of how I would react if I saw that. I would have to definitely pull over, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You gotta go back at least and take a look. Even if you're not pulling over, you got to take another spin by to see what the heck just happened.
Wow.
So anyway, so those are my videos.
Does that crazy librarian person are they guarding your books too?
Yes, I want that. I want that guy here.
What's his name again?
Abraham.
Okay, I was gonna say Abraham. All right, yeah.
Abraham. Yeah.
Anyone else has near-death experiences?
I haven't, thankfully, but I don't know if anyone else has in the chat. I don't know.
Well, I guess you got to define that. Like, if you died and came back, or if like you almost got killed by something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So have I? Sure. When I crashed my motorcycle, I almost got cut in half by a guardrail. But other than that, no, I haven't died and came back. So
yeah, I guess that. Yeah,
I guess you got to be a little more.
Yeah, I think she means having
right.
died, came back, experienced something, and came back.
That would be kind of something to do, ALV. I mean, I know it's not your thing, but
kill myself and try to come back.
No, I mean talk about something like that. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard those stories a long time. I mean, I've heard them, and there's no reason for me to doubt anyone. Honestly,
right?
There's no reason.
Right. No, I agree with that.
I believe them. They experienced it. But yeah, I don't have.
Wow, Mark. Yeah. Wow.
I'd like to interview, I'd like to have someone who has actually experienced it to be interviewed, and come on and talk about it. That would be cool.
Well, you have Sandy 333 and Marta had a somewhat of experience like that, or had the experience. I'm sorry.
Oh, Marta did. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And Sandy says dying is the best feeling. It's ecstatic. All I found was the brightest light filled with the most intense love. Wow. So
Well,
I guess you were unhappy to come back then, I guess, right? You weren't too thrilled to come back, I guess.
yeah, that's a great question, actually. Were you mad when you woke back up? Across the veil. Well, maybe Sandy would be a guest at some point if she's comfortable talking about it.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, Sandy, we could definitely have a show on that. Absolutely. And Marta, what was yours? Oh, she was in a coma. Ah, okay. And Marta, did you experience anything? Did you, you were in the coma and you came back, but did you experience anything while you were in the coma that you remember? That's really the question.
Say hi to Anthony.
Anthony.
Hello.
No, I would not.
Edgar. Edgar is here and he likes his picture.
Oh, that's wifey. That's wifey, not
Oh.
not
Oh, I thought it was Melena. Okay.
no.
Okay.
She's too cool for us.
Yeah, she's
too
over.
cool.
She's at my sister's house tonight. So
She can't be too cool. Come on, not
Well,
for
she's
this show.
13 now, you know?
This show's very cool. So, whatever. Stay there.
wow.
I was a single mom. I
You're
have
the
had like 5
Yeah.
babies. Also, pets come to me. Huh.
How long were you out?
Wait, so hold on. Marta, let's see. Marta's first coma was 15 days. Second coma was 12 days. Were they medically induced comas, Marta? I'm curious.
ACDC. He talked about ghosts for the first hour
I
of
don't
the
know who
show.
you are, ACDC. With you come here late. I don't know what you're talking about. Morning Zoo. There's nothing like the Morning Zoo here.
Yeah, for sure. If you tune into my show, then you'll get
Yeah.
your fix of that.
And we did talk about ghosts for the an hour and 20 minutes. So so not medically induced. Okay, interesting, Marta. So it was something that just happened to you. Okay, I think that's probably more impactful than a medically induced one. Okay, okay, Sandy. Cool. Yeah, we can look into that definitely. We could definitely look into that. So Marta, you had a heart and lung problem. Okay. All right.
Yeah, send ALV a he's got his you got your
Yeah, my email address
emails in
is
your
right. Is in the channel information. You could send me an email and we can talk about doing it. Hello, Don
What's up, Don?
McHugh.
Mr. Don.
How are you?
Very nice.
I'm surprised there weren't any in the mansions as Newport is very well. There probably are. I just didn't get to them. Like I said, there's plenty of stories from Newport. There's a lot more than 8 stories. So I'm sure that they're around. Hello, Harlow. Good to see you.
Very good.
All right. Donnie McHugh. Woo. All right. Oh, Tara, thanks for the promotion. What do you mean, to be a moderator? I just no. Look, if you're a real person and you come to this show regularly, I want you to be a moderator because I want to make sure it's you. That's really why we do that. Why I do that. So I make sure it's you. You're a real person, and I appreciate you being here. So I want to make sure I know it's you. So that's why I do that stuff. Yeah, there could be a part two, Gene. Absolutely. Yeah, just like I did 2 parts for Cape May, and I could even do a third for Cape May. Like, I mean, there's these towns have so many that so many stories that you can't do it in one show. You can't do it. You got to break it up. So an hour and 30 minutes, guys. That's pretty cool. Thank you for hanging out. 20 people hanging out that long is awesome. So I really appreciate that. And like I said at the beginning, I'm planning out October. So I'm going to go to, I will be taking a trip to Salem, which is going to be cool. First week of October. So hopefully I don't know if I'll do a live there, but I will definitely have video footage to share. So that should be fun. That should be a fun trip. And
How far away is that from you, Anthony?
it's about 6 hours.
What's it for us? 8 hours. Nice.
Yeah, so it's I've never been to Massachusetts, so I wanted to do that. And I will have been retired, so to speak. I will be
Oh
retired
yeah.
retired from my job. So this is this is the first thing I'm doing.
Good.
Before I look to start doing real work, doing more work of another type. Doing more legal work, I guess. It's probably where I'm going to head it, as opposed to just getting a job. I'll probably be doing that. But I just wanted to take some time, and that's one of the things I'm going to do. And
you earned it.
yeah, well, whatever. 29 years is what it is.
Yeah, it's a lifetime.
What I want to ask you, when you were so you were in Gettysburg, did you see any ghosts there in Gettysburg? And we did a lot on the show about Gettysburg. There were some really creepy videos from Gettysburg.
No, but when my wife was there the first time, she said she did a ghost tour at night.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, did you?
There were some pretty cool. Yeah, there was one thing up in a window of this building they were telling us about, but tried taking pictures of it. It doesn't come out in the picture.
Did you hear it?
Well, yeah, I'm hearing her. Yeah, yeah. Wow.
But I mean, I didn't have like my own experience where I saw something. But on the ghost tour, like they pointed out a few places to look and check, and the stories behind it with some of the old buildings, and yeah, there were.
Hey Ben, thanks for coming in.
There was
Sonny. I'm sorry, guys.
one area they brought us through where a bunch of soldiers were killed and ambushed, and you walk through. There's like, as you walk through it, you feel the change in the air. Like,
oh wow!
It's like the temperature feels much colder, and it's like it's for like a maybe, 10 feet maybe. It's not like a huge area.
Yeah.
But when you pass through it and you feel the it's like a chill, like the air is just colder. It was a very crazy experience. Yeah. But
wow.
I didn't see anything like on my own unexpectedly, but
Okay.
very cool place.
I know that I've seen this online. I've seen they have a ghost tour where they give you ghost hunting equipment.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, which I thought was kind of interesting. They give you like the ultraviolet or the heat censoring stuff. And that's, to me, that would be kind of interesting to go on that and see how that turns out. See if you see anything or detect anything.
That would be cool.
Have you been to Salem?
Yeah, once.
She's been to Salem too.
Oh yeah.
So you'll have to compare stories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the tour we did when we were just there a few weeks back was a bus tour, which was nice because the guy who did it was incredible, and we would get out at certain stops and stuff like that, and he would explain more, and then we'd get to walk around and take pictures. but no ghost stuff there. It was like
Well,
85 degrees out.
it's
It
hot
was,
during the day. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, when I went the last time I was at Gettysburg, it must have been 1992, something like that, 93. And I went with my mom and dad at the time, and it was it was kind of what you described. It was hot. It was the middle of summer. It was really hot, and I didn't go on any ghost tours or anything like that. It was just purely historical. It was just a historical trip. But if I go back, I want to look at the ghost side of it. I want to see if I can encounter anything from that angle.
When we were walking through the little town with all the shops and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
there was some guy standing on the like some tour guide standing on a ghost tour standing on the stoop trying to get her to come in and
Oh yeah.
yeah he was trying to solicit people to come in and do their thing, and I just he was giving you some extra attention, wasn't he?
He was trying to sell a ticket.
Yeah, he's trying to sell a
Sure,
ticket. I
sure.
just grabbed her and kept walking.
Isn't there a building where there's still like the muskets in the wall there?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you see that?
We did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was a couple buildings that they did point out that did have the bullet holes in the bricks. Yep.
Cool. Very cool.
And what also was pretty neat about it too was that for a certain point in time, they were letting people buy property, and they were building like new houses and buildings and stuff in the park.
Mm.
And then when the state took it back over, they took everything right out of there, like as if it was original.
Right.
So that was cool.
No, Stony, I haven't, but it's written down, so I will get to it.
Yeah, Don, I'm walking all over the place now. I'm good.
Yeah, Don, where you've been? Come on.
All right, then. Well, I'll let you go. Thanks for having me up, sir.
No, thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
I have an idea for a show. We'll talk offline, but I have
All
an
right.
idea. We can make a funny show out of it.
All right, sure.
So, all right, I'll talk to you soon.
And we should do a Halloween show this year. We didn't do one last year. We should do one this year.
I actually have a wedding on Halloween this year.
Oh well,
but I mean, we could figure something out like before.
We wouldn't do it on the actual day of Halloween. No.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday this year. Yeah. So, but yeah, I actually have a Halloween wedding, and it's not Halloween themed. Do you believe that?
Oh, okay.
So,
interesting.
But yeah, good times.
All right.
All right, then I'll talk to you in a little while. Yep.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Kick me out of here. Oh, here we go.
You got it. There you go. All right. Well, anyway, that's a wrap, guys. I think we had a great time this evening. An hour and 37 minutes. We had 8 ghost stories from Newport, Rhode Island. We had some intriguing videos, whether you thought they were ghostly or not. It's up to you. Some of them looked fake. Some of them just didn't have an answer to. So I think those are the best kind anyway. It makes you think. But I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping in and hanging out. I appreciate it. We had like 23 people in the chat, which is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Just another plug as usual. If you're not subscribed, please do. I know there were some new people that came in that I've never seen before. So please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you want to support the channel, become a member. That would help. And if you have ideas, let me know. Send me an email. Let me know about ideas you want me to look into. I'm happy to explore. Like I said, this subject was suggested by Zelda. So thank you, Zelda. It was a great topic. Wealth of information to look up and find. So if others have areas you want me to look at, I know Stony wants me to look at Hart Island. I will look at that, and we'll see where it goes. So as always, I like to say thank you so much. If you're not doing anything, tune into Slim later. Slim goes on in about a half an hour, I think, maybe, if he's not on already. I don't even know what time it is. But he'll be on shortly, so hang out with him. He might be on right now. If you have nothing else to do, watch him slaughter the copyright laws, as he does every Friday. And I will see you all next week. Until then, I will blow up my candles and say, stay scared. Thank you all. God bless and have a wonderful weekend.